Well, hello everyone. Today we are talking to a wonderful agent who lives in Raleigh. Her name is Edye Hammer. And I just want to talk to her and, introduce you to the wonderful world of Raleigh and all that it has to offer. So, Edye, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself? What areas you serve as a realtor and just kind of a bit about your real estate journey in general?
Sure. Hey, thank you for having me on. I'm Edye Hammer and I work with Keller Williams, and I have been fortunate to help clients buy and sell real estate all around the Raleigh Triangle area for the past 5 years. In Wake County, Harnett County, and Johnston County are the primary areas that I locally serve, which would be everything from Cary to Apex, Fuquay Varina, Garner, Clayton, and Raleigh, which is the area that I specifically do. But I cover all areas within Wake, Harnett, and Johnston counties, which is the central location in North Carolina.
So when someone says the triangle, I hear that a lot when people talk about that. So that's Raleigh and what other cities? Just the ones you said, or
You have Raleigh, Chapel Hill, and Durham. It's a
okay.
triangle right there with Research Triangle Park being up in the middle, which was the big reason for it growing, because we have a lot of software and technology and big pharmaceutical businesses up in the area. So it's Raleigh, Chapel Hill, and Durham. And Durham is about 30 minutes north of Raleigh, and Chapel Hill is about 45 minutes northwest of Raleigh.
Okay. And so I bet, speaking of that, you were talking about that's a research parkway or triangle or whatever it is, but that probably brings quite a bunch of companies to your area, right? Like a lot
We
of people are
do.
moving to your area.
We are one of the largest growing areas in the country in the Raleigh area, the Raleigh Triangle area. Wake County has 1.2 million people in Wake County, with about
Wow.
500,000 within Raleigh city limits or within the Raleigh area. Um, and from what I understand, Durham has about 300,000 and Chapel Hill has about 62,000. It's a smaller area. Chapel Hill is primarily University of North Carolina is in Chapel Hill. The other ones, Durham has North Carolina Central University, and then Raleigh has Duke, North Carolina State University, as well as Meredith and Shaw and some other colleges. But those colleges being in the area help to bring a lot of highly educated people coming out of those schools in the software, technology, and medical fields. So those are the areas that are really large in the business world within the Raleigh Triangle area. So we have Red Hat and SAS, IBM, Cisco, Epic Games has their headquarters here, and other folks are moving into the area, like Apple has slated for a large campus here. Amazon is large here. There are other companies as well that are moving into the area because of the demographics of folks that are here, that they have a good pull for the employees.
Okay, so there's a lot of growth in this area, which is really great for you, of course, right?
It is a lot of growth. From the stats say that there is an average of 66 people that move into the Wake County area every day. Crazy.
Wow. Okay.
It's a lot, and it's
Wow.
been that way for the past 5 years. In the past 5 years, we have seen a massive increase as far as the people that have moved here, as well as not just in Raleigh, but in the smaller communities around it, like Cary and Apex and Fuquay. All of the areas around the Raleigh Triangle have grown a lot in the past 5 years.
Okay, well, that is wonderful for you, of course,
It
and
is.
for everyone who's a realtor there. Well, can you just tell us just a little bit about your journey? I know you just mentioned, you said 5 years. Wow, it's probably
Mhm.
gone really fast.
It has gone really fast. It's hard to believe, actually. I feel very fortunate that I took the jump into real estate when I did. It was right as COVID came on, and that was definitely a roller coaster of a situation to figure out. And as many of us learned who knew that real estate would see such a large increase as far as during that time. And in the Raleigh area, it has not really changed. In our area, we still are in a strong seller's market.
Okay.
And I feel blessed that I've been able to help clients both locally as well as relocating from different parts in the nation as far as coming into the Raleigh area. It's it's been good. We have seen the um, the listing price and the sales price of homes go up over the past 5 years. We're still seeing a little bit of an increase in the sales price, um, but it seems to be evening out. The big thing is, I think that within our area, the number of people that are moving in and out of the area within the Raleigh Triangle, if it's a good house and it's priced well, it's going to go still very quickly. And I don't know if
Okay.
that's how that works over in Indy, but in Raleigh, we're still in a strong seller's market. If it's a good house, it's going to go well.
Yeah, and the Midwest is pretty reasonably priced, and I think your price point is going to be a little higher than ours, your median price. But
Depending on where
also
you are,
because okay,
depending
okay,
on
well,
where you
yeah.
are, when, yeah, because like in the Raleigh area, the Raleigh median price is about 530.
Oh,
And
okay.
when you look at some of the other areas around it, you're about the same. Cary, Holly Springs, they're Apex, they're all looking at the same numbers right there, just a little bit higher or lower. But there are other communities like Garner, Clayton, Benson, that drop down into the 400s and 300s on median prices, depending on where you are. So you
Okay.
have choices.
Well, so that $500,000 price point that you're speaking of, does that make it tough in your area for first-time home buyers, or do they need to go to the suburbs, or maybe the outlying areas? Because, here in the Midwest, that price would be tough for a first-time home buyer.
Yes. We have found that if we pull out into the other smaller communities a little bit out, if you're looking, and a lot of it depends on where they decide that they're actually going to be working.
Okay.
When we were talking about the businesses being in Wake County is a rather large area. So it depends on where that company is based out of. And then we have to make a decision through conversations and prioritizing how long do you want to have for a commute, and if the commute of 30 minutes works better to save $50,000 on the same type of house, let's go ahead and take a look at those neighboring communities to see if we can make that work for you.
Right. Well, at least there's some other options for, to help those first time buyers. Well, you've been in real estate for over 5 years. What about you and your family? What do you guys like to do? Tell us a little bit about them.
It's my husband and I that have been here in Raleigh for about 10 years. And I have two adult children. Um, One is living in Asheville out towards the mountains. That's a great thing about being in North Carolina in the central part. Like the beach is 2.5 hours to the east, the mountains 3 hours to the west. So my son is out in Asheville, graduated college last year, and my daughter is getting ready to graduate from App State out in the mountains in about 5 weeks. So we're
Wow.
looking forward to being empty nesters.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, what are you gonna do? You don't even know what you're gonna be able to do
I
with yourself.
don't, I don't, I don't. It's just
Oh,
my husband and I, and we have a dog, and the dog and I walk every morning, and Other than that, we like to go out and find the neat things that are going on in the community. We like to go and hit festivals, like Raleigh has a lot of those, Broogaloo, and they have a international food fest down in Raleigh every year. And so we like to go ahead and pick up all of the different food areas and the different things that are going on in the Raleigh area.
Okay, when you said food, that's my kind of festival. Listen, I love a food festival or a food truck. And one thing I know about you, you love to go around and promote local businesses in your area. So you love trying new, whether it's ice cream or coffee. And that's one thing that's really awesome about you. You highlight all those places and then you become the person who knows what's going on in the community and people look to you to see what's going on. What new restaurant should I try?
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. We do like to go out and visit the new places, and I like to support small businesses locally, just because they help to support the community. So the more that we can help them grow, the better off we all are. And there's some great new businesses coming into the Raleigh area. As far as, I wouldn't say it's exactly a foodie city yet, but we're getting there. But if you like barbecue, if you like donuts, if you like ice cream, I'm your girl. I can
Oh,
definitely
well,
point you
let
in the
me
right direction.
listen. Let's just go to the Outer Banks. Let's go. That's my one of my favorite places on the face of the earth, the Outer Banks. You're so lucky. I always think that people are really lucky to live in North Carolina because, again, like you said, the beach. I love the Outer Banks. It's so unique. It's one of the best places in the world. And then, like you said, you have the mountains. It's so close by. You have the city. It's just fun fact, I used to go to Dave Matthews Band in Raleigh, whatever the amphitheater was called back then. What
Walnut
is it
Creek.
called? Walnut Creek, that's right. And
He
I
always puts
used
on
to,
a great show there.
oh my
I
goodness.
went to one.
And yes, so and that was in the olden days, but um
It was a while back.
Raleigh's awesome. So, you guys have a lot of fun things to do. You have a lot of festivals, you have a lot of events. There's a lot of large employers in the area. So, what if somebody was wanting to move to your area? We already know kind of the median price. What advice would you give them? Because if they were moving to North Carolina from the West Coast, what advice would you give them? What's your weather like? What would you tell them?
I think we would have to have a conversation to figure out what part of the state that they're planning on coming to. Because things change from the coast over to the mountains as far
Mhm.
as temperature and things that are available. The best thing about North Carolina, I can say, is that we have all 4 seasons, but the winter is really, really short. So if you're in Indy and you're tired of being around the snow and picking up a snow shovel, come down here. Our winters are really light. We might have 1 or 2 snows a season. We usually wear short sleeves up until the middle of November and break them back out in March. So it's definitely worthwhile if you're tired of winter. And it's a neat area, but in order to go and find more out about it, you should talk to somebody in the area that lives in it and can tell you the differences in between the different communities, because each community, even in the triangle, there are several communities and they all have a different feel. Um, and it might help to know which one feels like it would be the best fit for you coming to the area.
So it might be a good idea for someone who's thinking, let me move to the South, because here's the thing. North Carolina to me is the South, whether, wouldn't you consider, because I think some people on that line of North Carolina and Virginia, maybe people think maybe Virginia is not the South. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. Being in the North and the Midwest, I always think maybe North Carolina is the beginning of the South. over there?
I know that Virginia counts themselves as south, but
Oh,
it
okay.
really seems
Okay.
to come in down here in North Carolina. Virginia still gets pretty bad snows, I'm just saying.
Oh, no, we don't want that. So, if you were considering, if someone was considering moving to North Carolina, they might want to come take a vacation just to check out the mountain areas like Asheville and Western North Carolina. Check out, what would you call Raleigh Central North Carolina, or, and
Come
check
down
out the
and check out
beaches.
the Raleigh Triangle area. Come take a long weekend. There's plenty of things for you to take in and do. Look up one of the festivals. Give me a call. Look up one of the festivals and plan on coming to visit one of the festivals for like either Boogaloo or the International Food Fest, or even in November, there's the Cocoa Booth Amphitheater, and they do a Chinese Lantern Fest every year, which is so cool. Like there's a lot of cool stuff to take in around the Triangle area. And I would suggest coming in and taking in a long weekend so that we can show you around.
Yeah, and you're obviously the expert. I did wonder, have you seen a migration? Because we always think about seniors who are retiring going to Florida and those type of places. Have you seen any sort of migration of people moving from cold weather areas to North Carolina, for example?
We have. There's been a huge influx of folks coming to North Carolina. We have a large 55 plus population, with more 55 plus communities coming into the area and being built currently. And what has been found is that sometimes people move to the south, they move to Florida, and we end up with what they call the halfbacks, people that got down to Florida and found out it was too hot and they ended up didn't want to be there. So they come halfway back from the north. And we end up with a large population coming to North Carolina and settling here simply because our climate and our temperatures, the seasons are really good. Like the only month I really dislike is August, because I dislike August in a lot of places on the nation, not just here. It's really hot. So, but that's why we have air conditioning.
Exactly. So those that don't want to go to Florida, North Carolina actually sounds like a amazing, and of course I've been there, amazing place to retire or move to, just check it out, or a place to vacation. So of course, if anyone is thinking of moving to North Carolina, especially the Raleigh area, Edie's your person. She knows it all. She's so
Thank you
smart.
so much.
I'll connect you with her. But thank you so much for telling us about all the things there are in your area. It's just interesting to hear, different people talking about different parts of the country and what you have to offer. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Jennifer. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.